Okay, it's official. This is the very first podcast. I'm Eric from the Post-Apoc and ericwrites.com. And as of yet, the podcast is not officially named, although I was thinking about, well, at first when I only had the Post-Apoc website, it was going to be the Post-Podcast Ellipse.
Oh, God.
But that would be so hard to actually continue to use.
Right.
So instead, in light of Eric Writes, it's just going to be Eric Talks.
Eric Talks?
It's the companion piece to Eric Writes. The audio companion.
Bedcast. I thought that's what you were going with.
Eric's Bedcast was a joke.
Oh, fuck.
So, Eric Talks, episode 1. Here with my friend, Katie Hill.
Katie Rain Hill. Should I introduce myself or should you do that?
Well, okay. Katie is a bit of a social celebrity. I'll let you go into more detail, but needless to say, she is my most famous friend.
Oh, okay, true, yeah. Pretty true.
So let's go into it via your book.
Okay.
So
All right.
you published a book. How long ago?
I published it 2014 in September.
Mm-hmm. What's it called?
Rethinking Normal, a Memoir in Transition.
I read the book and I thought it was amazing.
Thank you.
It was very, very good.
Yes.
So Rethinking Normal, everybody go to Amazon, find that. Go to my website, go to ericwrites.com, click on the Amazon banner, go to Amazon, and buy Rethinking Normal by Katie Rain Hill.
No, seriously, do it.
Yeah.
Buy my book!
So you've been going to a lot of speaking engagements.
I have.
All over the country, different countries.
Yes, I have. I just got back from Los Angeles and New York.
And do most of these revolve around the book, or is it more of your status before the book came out?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
I usually go there for both. They'll say, "Oh, Katie, come and do a book signing, and then tell us a little bit about your story, and then stick around for an award show or something like that, and take all of our money."
So since you have to get up in front of people, and basically, I'm sure you have a boiled down intro into, I'm Katie Hill, this is why I'm up here.
No, not really.
Really?
I just kind of like wing it whenever I go up on stage every single time. So every time it's different.
All right, well, starting out, tell me why you're famous, Katie.
Well, I'm famous? Oh, God. Here we go. Okay, well, I'm Katie Hill, and this is my story.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was born into a really religious family. My mom was Southern Baptist, and my dad was a Mormon. And my dad was a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps. He spent 27 years doing his thing. And so, needless to say, they were pretty conservative, pretty hard-headed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, growing up, since I was 4 or even younger, I always knew that something was different about me.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually born a boy, as you know, but they don't.
Correct.
But now they do.
They may,
They
or they
may
not.
or not. Yeah, they might have heard of me. I was born a boy. I am transgender. So growing up, I was always highly aware of myself. You know, I remember at 4 years old, I was going to Mom, pulling on my penis, saying, "Off, Mom, I don't want this. This is so bad. Get this off of me." And she kind of was like, "Oh, yeah, it's just a phase, you know."
Yeah.
Something like that. And I would always play with, like, easy bake ovens, and I would cross my legs when I said, and I'd, like, have to sway to my walk. And it was just natural. You know, I never had to think about it. I never thought, like, I'm going to do this now because it's girly or whatever. I just kind of did it. Well, I mean, I was always a little happy kid. It wasn't until I was about 6 or 7 when I started noticing my sexuality that it really became apparent to me that something wasn't right about me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I started noticing boys around 7, noticing that I was deeply attracted to guys, which isn't right. Like I said, I was born in a religious family, so I went to church every Wednesday, every Sunday.
Right. So did you even have a concept of what gay was at that point?
No. Well, like at 4, when I was doing that, you know, with Mom, you don't understand what gender or sex or sexuality is at that age.
Right.
You know, you're just kind of like this little kid who goes around absorbing shit. Like, I barely knew how to talk at that point, let alone understand what was between my legs. But when I was 7, I had a concept. I knew that boys who liked boys were going to hell, and that terrified me because I was a good person. You know, I went to church and I prayed, and, I did everything I was supposed to do.
So did you feel like there was something wrong with you?
Yeah, I felt like, well, people told me that being gay was a choice, and I would seriously, like, every night when I went to bed, I would pray to God to not make me, to like ungayify, or every birthday would actually. What I would say is either please make me a girl. I knew then I was like, please make me a girl.
Yeah.
Or make these feelings go away.
Yeah.
Or and every shooting star, every birthday wish, every 11/11, every day, like every time I found a 4-leaf clover or something, or a dandelion, I would wish to either be a girl, to wake up and be what I wanted to be, or to take the feelings away.
Yeah.
And I would get mad. I eventually became very bitter and very depressed because my prayers and wishes were never answered, no matter how hard I wished for them. So even at 7, I became kind of atheist, kind of agnostic. I stopped believing in God. Even though my family was still really religious, I couldn't believe in a God that would put me through such shit. So I kind of became a child of darkness around 7. Like, I had asked Mom, what's the meaning of life? And I don't think I belong here. I think...
A 7-year-old existential crisis.
Yeah. I was like, I want to kill myself. I don't think anyone loves me. I don't belong here. And it's really messed up because when you think of a 7-year-old, you kind of think of this, like, cute little hyper monster running around.
Right, riding a big wheel and making mud pies.
Yeah. And I was in big jackets reading Moby Dick in my room by myself because it's the only way I could escape reality.
Wow.
Yeah, I would stay home and study. Like, I had a 12th grade reading level by the time I was in, like, 3rd grade because I stayed in my room and I studied and I read because reading helped me escape the reality. I could read all of I wanted about heroes and heroines and magic that could do anything. And it helped me, it gave me some kind of hope, at least a little bit, that I could read about these heroines and heroes, the things that I always wanted to be, but I knew I never would be, I never could amount to. It was just kind of like something I could hold on to. So my family never saw me. Like, I was always locked in my room. I would never go outside. They would offer to take me to go eat or go to the movies, and I wouldn't want to go because I was afraid of people seeing me and judging me.
You'd think that just by seeing you, they would know something was wrong with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you could tell. I mean, even at 7, I looked extremely feminine, but you could see the darkness in my eyes.
I have seen pictures of you, and you look like a little girl.
Yeah. But... like, I didn't eat, and I never went outside, so I was super pale. But I'm Italian, so I have, like, the natural olive skin, so, like, under my eyes were really dark. And I just looked really unhealthy. Like, I never took care of my hair. I didn't clip my nails. Like, my hair was extremely greasy. My nails were always long and dirty. I just didn't care. So I didn't want people to see me, though. Because, for one, I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't know how to groom myself necessarily. I knew how to do it as a guy, but I didn't want to do that. For girls, I didn't know how to put on makeup. I didn't know how to...
Did you keep your hair short back then, or was it still long?
Mom made me cut it.
Yeah.
She would, like, I would cry when she would cut my hair and my nails, but she would make me because she didn't want people to make fun of me.
Yeah.
Eventually, she just kind of gave up. But so I tried to commit suicide when I was 7 and 8 and 9. The first time was me trying to cut my wrists on 4th of July. All my family was outside shooting fireworks. For some reason, I just had enough. Like, I saw everyone else was happy except me. No matter, a lot of them were talking about, oh, I had a difficult time doing this, and I'm kind of upset. Even though they were talking like that, they could still smile and shoot off fireworks. But the more I saw them being happy, the more depressed I felt because I knew no matter what I did, I couldn't make the pain go away. No matter how much I tried to fake a smile, it would still be a fake smile.
And did you ever try to communicate? I know you didn't have words or definitions for these feelings back then, but did you ever try to communicate any of it to your family?
I did, but I told my mom when I was 7 that I thought I was gay because I was... Don't laugh. I was attracted to Ash Ketchum from Pokemon, the Pokemon movie. Like, because I was like, I like his voice.
Yeah.
And I was like, his eyes are pretty.
He's very determined.
very determined. So it was like a 7-year-old crush. I was like,
He's got to catch them all.
he's got to catch them all. And then I had this crush named Dustin Compton at my old elementary, and he was really cute. And I told Mom, I was like, Mom, I'm attracted to Dustin. He was a friend, like he came over all the time. And I'm also like, attracted to this guy and this guy. And she just said, okay, baby. She like patted me on the back because I was crying. Because I'm like, but I don't want to go to hell. She goes, we'll figure this out. We'll get you help. And I did go to counselors. And I did get on antidepressants by the time I was 7. Because no mom is not going to freak out about their 7-year-old telling them that they're going to kill themselves. Like I went to dozens of therapists and I went on antidepressants.
But it sounds like your mom was at least a soft place for that truth to land.
Kinda. But she almost would act like I never told her.
Okay, so she was kind of having trouble facing it.
Yeah, like when I was 8, the next year I would say, Mom, I think I'm gay. Or Mom, I wouldn't say that. I would say, Mom, I'm attracted to boys, because I didn't know exactly what gay necessarily meant. And then she would act like I've never told her and say, oh, well, let's get you into therapy and we'll learn about it.
So she just kind of hoped it would go away.
Kind of. It literally almost seemed like she completely forgot that I ever told her.
Yeah.
Like she pushed the memory out of her mind. Because I told her 3 or 4 times over the years, and every time she would act stunned, like it was the first time I was telling her. But I didn't know how to communicate my true feelings. I didn't know how to say, like, Mom, I feel like a girl in a boy's body, because I always felt like that. But I felt like because of her religion and my dad's religion and him being in the military and what I knew would happen to me in, like, the divine sense, if I told them, they would kick me out or kill me.
So your mom never brought this to your dad?
No, actually, well, they talked about me being gay because my dad and mom actually got a divorce, and he blamed it on me being gay.
Really?
Yeah.
How old were you when they got divorced?
12. Yeah. So he said, well, my dad's an alcoholic, and he has been since I was a little kid. So, he would always yell at Mom. He'd wake us up in the middle of the night because he was yelling at her. And when they got a divorce, it was actually New Year's. And I remember watching the ball drop as I heard them yelling about getting a divorce. And I was like crying watching the ball drop by myself. And my dad was telling my mom in the next room that he couldn't have a gay son. And he blamed me partially for the marriage falling apart. Even though his own brother is gay. But anyways. So I kind of just like dealt with my feelings. I hid them away from my friends. When I went to school, I never told anybody that I was gay. I just kind of had to pretend that I liked girls. I actually had a girlfriend for a day, but that was just too much for me. I couldn't fucking handle that. So, and everyone would always ask me, like, are you a boy or a girl? Whenever they would meet me.
Because you looked so feminine?
And I sounded it too.
Yeah.
Before I came out, this is my normal voice. I never took voice training or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost 21. My voice has sounded like this since I was 15. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I had feminine features, like my high you can't see me, but Eric
I can see you.
Eric can.
Yeah, there are pictures of her. I'll put one up near the podcast. She is gorgeous and looks like she looks like a model.
I am a model.
You'd never guess.
I am a model. Remember? I'm actually modeling this summer.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. But I'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So, anyways, when I was 15, so I dealt with this for 15 years. I kept it under wraps. 15, January 2009, I finally figure out what transgender means. Like, I look it up online, figure out the word, look up stories, and I grab my mom and I say, Mom, come here and check this out.
And how old are you again at this point?
15.
15.
Yeah, almost about to turn 16. And she looks at it and she goes, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Because, well, up till then, I've been diagnosed with schizophrenia and Asperger's and autism and all these different mental issues to explain why I was acting the way I was, why I was so antisocial and one-track minded.
And these were from the counselors that your mom was sending, the psychologist your mom was sending you to?
Yeah.
Basically, she's looking for any answer but this one?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I would say, Mom, I don't have Asperger's, I don't have autism, I don't have... Well, because she also had a handicapped child, Josh. My older brother. Okay. He's completely handicapped.
Okay.
He was born with the genus corpus callosum, which is this super rare brain disorder where your corpus callosum, which is the thing that connects your two hemispheres, is completely gone.
I've heard of this.
And he was born with severe autism. Like he's almost 24, and he's never said a single word. He can't walk. He can't talk. He's basically just like a walking or like a crawling vegetable. I mean, to put it mildly. or actually pretty harshly. So it made sense to say, oh, your third child, your first one is fine, your second one was mentally handicapped, and your third one is even more fucked up. So it made sense to her to say that I had autism and Asperger's and schizophrenia.
That's what she knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I finally put her in front of the computer and said, look, this is what this is. And she kind of blew it off. She didn't pay much attention to it because I think it kind of freaked her out. But that night, when she was putting my little brother to bed, I basically ushered her into my room and said, Mom, you need to listen to me right now or I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I have something to tell you, and if you don't listen to me, you'll wake up tomorrow and I will be dead. I won't fail this time. I for the longest time, I blamed myself for not even being able to kill myself because I felt weak. I felt like I was a failure so much that I couldn't kill myself properly. But I was ready. That was my rock bottom.
Your ultimatum.
My ultimatum, yeah. And I wasn't threatening her. I was just making her a promise. If you do not listen to me,
mm-hmm.
I will be dead. I cannot do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so she knew I wasn't kidding. She knew I was not lying. So she sat down and said, okay, what is it? And at first she said, I get it, you're gay. We can work past this. We can get you help. We can go and talk to more psychologists and work this out. I said, no, that's not it. I'm transgender. I showed you on the computer, that's what I am. And you didn't pay attention, you didn't listen. And we talk for hours. We're crying, we're just melting in each other's arms. And it kind of comes to this climax where she says, you know what? I don't care about what you are or who you are. You're my child. I'm not going to lose you. She said, I would gladly give up all of my beliefs and all of my friends and family if it meant keeping you. Because she said, I am terrified every day of coming home and finding you dead on the floor. And I don't want to do that anymore. It's too much. You're my baby. You've always been so depressed and this child of darkness. And I know that you can, since you were a kid, you've been the happiest. My mom tells me that when I was born, I was born with my umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. And the doctor said I was going to die when I was born because I didn't have enough oxygen. I was purple when I came out. They said, I'm not going to make it. But I did. And even after they cut the cord, my mom said I didn't cry until I was 4 years old. I never for once did I cry. She didn't even know when to change my diaper or when to feed me because I would just look at her with a shitty diaper and just laugh.
Kind of like you still do?
Yeah, with my shitty diaper and all. But she said, you're an angel as a baby. And
yeah.
So she said, since you were a baby, I knew that you had a light in you that could make anyone feel good and it could light up a room if it wanted to. But something's keeping you from being that. And if this is what it is, I will sell my soul to the devil if it means seeing you happy again and seeing you fill up every room that you walk in with light like you did when you were a baby. And so I said, this is it. She says, okay, well, I need you to make me a list of everything that you want me to do. And I swear I will do everything on that list for you, even if it means abandoning everything that I know and everything that I care about, because you're more important than that. And she did. Within 6 months, I was on hormones. I had my name changed. We stopped cutting my hair. We stopped cutting my nails. We burned my old clothes, got new panties and bras, and she came out to my family, and even though they were bigoted, racist, misogynistic assholes, they accepted me because my mom's mama bear and the head of the household. My grandma accepted me, my uncle, my aunts. My dad took a while. He's still trying to get over it.
Yeah.
It's been it's been, how long has it been now? Almost 6 years. Yeah, almost 6 years.
Well, how was your dad's relationship with his brother?
They were great.
They were. So
yeah.
That's strange then.
Probably because I was his firstborn son.
Yeah.
It's his brother.
Right.
Yeah. My dad had a really fucked up childhood too. His mom committed suicide when he was 8 and his dad abandoned him and he was alone with his siblings for a couple months in their house, and they had lice and they were starving and they didn't have any help. They couldn't call anybody because it was the 1940s, 1930s or some shit My dad's pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
But they eventually, his grandparents came and got him, but it was months afterwards. Like they couldn't go anywhere. They were in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. But anyways, and his dad was an alcoholic too, which is funny.
I feel like that's your next book.
I actually want to write a story about my mom's life.
Yeah.
My mom's life is messed up. She's had one hell of a ride. If I told you that, that would be a whole nother podcast. I'll come back and tell you about my mom's life.
Yes, please.
Oh man, you think my life was shitty? My mom's life was even worse, arguably.
I want to jump ahead to you. You have a really interesting story leading up to your surgery. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that.
So, basically, I got into a bunch of support groups after I started transitioning. I went back to school as Katie, the same school, and I got beat up and spat on and pushed and shoved and called names by teachers and parents and students and their dogs and their sisters, everyone you could imagine, the bus driver. No one, I was hated. I was like public enemy number one of Bixby.
Because this had never happened in your high school.
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma, yeah.
Yeah, but I dropped out because the teasing was so bad. And eventually I went and enrolled into online school and I said, I can't do this. So it was 6 months, but after that 6 months, I got the courage to go back to Bixby. And I made it through the first day and then the second day and then the first week, first month, and before I knew it, I was graduating. And it turns out I was the very first open transgendered person to ever graduate from Oklahoma. Like, I set the precedent.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I got so famous, is because, local papers picked it up, and then international papers picked it up, and then like worldwide, national and then international places picked it up.
That's actually where I first heard of you. I was somewhere in public. I think maybe... No, I remember. I was in the hospital waiting room downtown because the girl I was dating, her grandma had some sort of a heart attack or a stroke or something. Jesus. So it was late at night. We were in the hospital waiting room, and I was watching TV, and I saw your documentary on
Which
TV.
One?
All I remember is you and Aaron.
Oh, yeah, that's way later.
In bathing suits.
Oh, that's way later. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was the first I ever heard of you.
Yeah. That was way before this. But then I started dating another trans guy. And we apparently were the first open teenage trans couple in America. Funny enough how that works out. But then all these people who already knew me, who already had gotten in contact with me, were like, oh, we gotta get this. But before that, the surgery, since I set the precedent, I started doing talks and I showed my courage, like, no one's going to beat me. No one's going to get me down. I made it so you can make it. Well, my mom, after my mom and dad got divorced, she had to work 2 jobs. And she only made $10 an hour between the 2 jobs. So she had no money. I mean, she had child support and stuff, but my dad, of course, didn't give her anything. He was a very bitter old man. Still is a bitter old man. But, so she said, Katie, your surgery is $50,000. There's no way I'm going to ever be able to pay for that. So you're going to have to wait until you're out of college and have a good job to pay for it, which just devastated me. I couldn't imagine not going that long with that between my legs, a fucking penis. Yeah. And dealing with that, especially with relationships and friendships, and just don't even get me started about going to the pool. Jesus Christ. But someone called my mom on her birthday and said, Jaslyn, we want to pay for Katie's surgery. All of it. The travel, the food, the surgery itself, everything. And to this day, I don't know who it is.
Still don't know.
No, it was an anonymous donor.
Yeah.
And,
That's amazing.
When does that shit happen to people? It never happens. Who just gives you $50,000?
Well, and they gave you stipulations, right?
They're paying for my college, too.
Right.
Yeah.
They wanted you to finish college and continue being an advocate, right?
Yeah, they do. They still do.
Yeah.
They're still supporting me.
That's so cool.
And that's why I get to go to a private university, too. And that never happens,
Mm-hmm. Do you want to ever know who it is?
I do, to say thank you, to, to their face and have a face to the name. But at the same time, I understand why they want to remain anonymous, and it puts pressure on me to really pay it forward. If I knew them, I feel like all I had to do was say thank you, and then that would satisfy it. But this way, the only way I know how to pay it forward is to be a good advocate.
Right.
And to maybe one day, if I make enough money, to pay for someone's surgery.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be like,
pass it on.
Pass it on if I make the money, which I'm sure I will one
I'm
day.
sure you will.
Yeah.
Book number 7, the advance is going to be plenty.
Oh, man, that'd be great. Oh, man, yeah, the advancement alone. But I could have paid for someone's surgery with the advance. Anyways, so I got the surgery. Great. Came out beautiful. And it's really cool because now I get to just do what I love.
Yeah.
I do this because I don't want anybody to go through what I had to. This is the short, dumbed-down version. There's a lot more shit in between.
Yeah, you should absolutely read her book. Once again, it's called Rethinking Normal. Go to ericwrites.com, click on the Amazon banner, and search for Rethinking Normal by Katie Rain Hill.
Oh, you do it, for real. But I advocate, and I have 3 majors in school. So
that's insane.
Yeah. My friends always ask me, like, how do you do it? And I just say, you know what? I just get shit done. I don't.
What are your 3 majors?
Anthropology, sociology, and psychology. So, I mean, they're not.
It's a lot of ologies. What's the goal? I mean, are you looking to combine those into a single field, or are you just interested in them?
I have no idea. I mean, I have the book. I want to write more books.
Right.
I've modeled for big places, like Barney's in New York. I would love to do that again because it's so much fun, and the money's really nice.
I think I will put some of your modeling photos up with the podcast.
Oh my. That'd be the good photo. The good one. I guess they're all good. Because it was shot by
I'll let you pick out your favorites.
Oh, don't put that pressure on me.
I'll have veto.
Because I hate myself.
Right, you pick 10. I'll pick 3 out of the 10.
Okay. All right. But I would love to do that. I get to talk a lot of places. I don't make much money from that. Which that's not important. I could just get to go places and talk to people.
Yeah.
But it's a sustainable income. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could live off my hobbies, which are these things.
Writing and speaking.
Writing, speaking, modeling, whatever. So I don't know what my future holds because I have so many opportunities.
What is your dream job? Do you have a dream job?
Dream jobs. Like talking, going places, fighting for what I believe in, and getting paid.
Oh, I was about to say, what, like MMA?
No,
fencing.
Like voicing my opinion.
Okay,
using my speaking abilities to the
political advocacy, maybe.
Maybe I don't want to be a lobbyist or some shit like that. But what I do now, where I get to go and talk to people, voice what is.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're literally having an impact on like the social culture that we live in.
Yeah, I mean, already from people that have messaged me, they've told me I've saved their lives, from my talks and the book and things like that.
That's heavy.
And it's heavy, it's even hearing one person say that to you, let alone 10 or 20 every single day telling you that. And it keeps me going, that no matter how hard it is, I have to know that I've saved at least one person's life. 2 people, 20, 30. I've saved hundreds of lives. At least that's what I've been told from these people. And that's amazing, I would love to also just model during the summers, gain my confidence, fuel my ego and make money that way. Or
no, I think it's huge. I think the modeling is important too, especially if the modeling is not done as look how hot this transgender person is.
Like it's
if
a trans
it's just
person,
look at this really hot person.
Or that
I don't want to name any names, but I know for a fact that I introduced you to someone I know, and they knew nothing about you, nothing about your story. I just said, this is my friend Katie. And this is a very conservative person in my life, very conservative. And as we walked away, he told me how attractive you were, and I just loved it. I just soaked it up, and I waited until he was done. And then I told him, I said, well, Katie was actually born a boy. She's transgendered. And to watch the changes that took place, like the enormous obstacles his brain had to overcome in 5 seconds was amazing, great. Because I was like, that's the best argument I could have given. That's it.
Well, that or just like this, you know, this attractive person. Or I also want to model like what I did for Barney's.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a trans person, but it's like a woman. Like, you look at it and for initially you see a woman, but then when you read like the footnote, you go, oh, fuck me. Like that's a trans person. Oh man. It makes people think. It makes them question what
But
they
is the
know.
goal eventually, I mean, I know right now it's still a new thing on the landscape. Is the goal to get that asterisk removed?
Yeah, I mean, eventually it'll be just like race and the way homosexuality is starting to be viewed. It'll just become like a so what kind of thing. You know, there's always going to be people who are going to be against it and who are not going to understand it. But I
think
feel
the
like
tides are definitely shifting.
yeah, and it's. I really don't want to toot my own horn, but I would say like
No, please, toot.
the advocates that do stuff like
Yeah.
I do, like Janet Mock or Laverne Cox even, or Isis King, such and so forth. That they oh man, I just realized that they're all black too.
Yeah?
Like the three first trans people that I came to mind were black.
I was going to ask if you had any heroes in the trans community.
Yeah, those three. Those are good.
What were
Those
their
are
names
great.
again?
Isis King, Laverne Cox, and Janet Mock.
Okay.
Isis King's a model. Like, kudos to her for just going and being a model for being trans. And Janet Mock, she also wrote Jazz Jennings too. Jazz Jennings, she's like 10 years old. I think she's older than that now. I don't remember her age, but she's actually the person I read about when I came out. Like she was 7 at the time, and I was like, oh man, that's what I am.
Vaguely familiar. Did Jazz have anything to do with was it the big there was a big to-do about her using the bathrooms at an elementary school?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I actually got to meet her, and it was really funny because she was like, oh my god, you're Katie Hill. I was like, oh my god, you're Jazz. And we kind of had this weird like mutual fan moment.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
That's great.
Yeah. Hopefully one day I'll be able to meet like Laverne Cox and stuff.
Yeah.
Just because I want to say like kudos for you for playing, you know, a positive, that's an important thing, a positive model for trans people. I actually wasn't sold on the whole Laverne Cox thing until the one episode where...
Episode of what?
Orange is the New Black.
Okay. Laverne Cox is the woman on Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
I've never watched the show. I've seen like half of 3 episodes, but I
you
know
what
who
I'm
you're talking about.
then.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I don't. It's not spoilers, but there's this part where one of the security officers are like, "Hey, you know, suck my dick and I'll give you some hair dye or whatever the hell it was." And in most shows, LGBT people would like jump on the opportunity to do something like that. But Laverne Cox, I forgot the character's name that she plays. I haven't watched it. Season 2 needs to come out already. But anyways, she looks him in the eye, and there's like this long pause, and she says, "You've got the wrong girl." And at that moment, I was like, "Okay, all right, good." I was about to punch the TV if she said yes. Like I was almost ready. Oh no, it was estrogen pills. That's what it was. She was like, "I need estrogen pills," and he said, "I'll get them for you if you like, do your thing." She says, even for estrogen, which is like, I couldn't live without my estrogen. Well, I mean, I couldn't when I was before pre-op.
Right.
Because it meant so much to me. It was just like the symbolic thing. You just get moody. Like, hormones for M2Fs aren't that important. Except spirolactone. Maybe it was spirolactone. If it was spirolactone, you know, you would do anything for your spiro.
So are you still on hormones now?
No. I mean, I take 1 pill a day just so I don't get cranky. But other than that, no. I kind of think of it as like my birth control pill.
Yeah. So once your testicles are gone, the body just kind of recalibrates?
Yeah. Well, your testicles tell your pituitary gland to produce more testosterone than it would normally produce.
Okay.
So you take them out, and then your body just goes, well, what the fuck do I do now? No. It kind of just sits waiting for the messenger, and it never comes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to take spirolactone, which is the testosterone blocker. And you don't need to be on Depo, which is the shot, the like severe estrogen. You just have to take estradiol or Premarin, which are the pill forms.
Okay.
Yeah. So what was I talking about?
You were talking about your heroes in the trans community.
Oh, well, like before that.
Laverne Cox.
Yeah, Laverne Cox. Well, she's cool.
Before that, we were
cool.
talking about your dream job, and you're not
No,
right.
yeah, you're right. I'm glad you're keeping track. I'm sitting on your bed, so I'm comfy and just kind of trailing off. Speaking, modeling, traveling, talking to people, saving lives. I really don't want like a cubicle job. I really don't want a conventional job.
Who does?
Because I feel like I would just get super bored.
You do.
That's why I went for 3 majors, is because I was like, eventually I'm just going to fucking hate all 3 of these.
Yeah.
So I might as well just like knock them out, and that way I'll have them, like I'll do anthropology first, and I'll fucking hate that, and go to sociology, and I'll hate that, and then psychology, and then I'll hate that. Go back to
Those 3
school.
majors sound like you're aiming for the next Indiana Jones.
That'd be an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the whole like life-threatening thing. Maybe even then.
Is there any treasure left to find?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're an anthropologist. Yeah. I thought maybe you'd know.
I mean,
Anthropologists don't just sit around talking about hidden treasure?
No, that's like pseudo-anthropology. They're not like, man, let's go find Atlantis. Maybe there might be something out there.
Okay. So what projects do you have going on now?
Oh, you know what my dream job would be?
Tell me.
If aliens came and they were like, we need an anthropologist and sociologist to come and study our culture.
Because they don't have those?
No, because they would like...
We haven't developed anthropology yet. We need to borrow yours.
Like, we need a human to come and absorb all of our culture and then present it to you, so you, like, it'd be a better adaptive way. So they don't just have an alien going over there with its flapping alien arms going, we eat our children if they don't leave house after 2 years.
These aliens sound horrible.
To us, maybe, but to an anthropologist, it would go, ooh.
Interesting. They eat their offspring.
Yeah.
All right, so really you just want to space travel. That's your dream job.
Well, like, what better way to explore than to get the fuck off this planet? And to see aliens. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
What projects do you have going on these days? I know of one.
Projects. I have more talks coming up. One in Iowa. I have to go to LA and San Francisco in the second and third week of May. GeekyCon, which is this huge convention in Orlando, Florida this year, which used to be called LeakyCon. They're having me be a special guest there, and I am so excited because a Harry Potter musical.
Yeah,
I told you about that.
Yeah, you have.
Well, they
tried to make me watch it.
Oh God, you're like, I would love to watch an episode, and then I put it on, and you were like, Katie, why the fuck are we watching this? This is so stupid.
I think I was just being polite when I said I would like to watch it. Although I will, at some point, I will watch it.
No, you won't. Shut up. No, I don't trust you.
I just wasn't in the mood.
Whatever. Oh, well, it's because you had your girlfriend over, or that chica friend.
Who?
There's that one girl. You guys got, like, she was all over you. You guys were drunk, and then...
Oh, jeez. I don't know if this is right for the podcast.
Then,
moving on.
Oh, no. Natasha had her, like, she had a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Natasha had a girl over.
And then you had...
that girl's friend.
Yeah, that girl's friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
That girl.
I can't help it.
And then you were like, Katie, why are we watching this? And I was like, well, I want to watch it. Anyways, the Harry Potter...
Thanks for airing my shit out on the podcast, Katie.
We just talked about... like, my life. This is the first podcast. They have to get down to the knit and grit. They need to know who we are as people,
all right.
Eric.
Deal.
Like, I'll tell them all about my sex life and all what I do. I don't give a damn.
Go for it. I guess
it's just me.
Wait, okay. Before we get to your sex life, your project's going on.
Yeah. So, a Harry Potter musical, the cast is going to be at GeekyCon, and I'm just fangirling out. Like, I'm so excited to meet them. I've met PJ Novak and, like, a bunch of other celebrities whose names I don't know, but because I don't give a damn. I went to, like, a People's Magazine party, and, like, the lead male actor for Princess Bride, he was there.
Carrie Elwes, I think.
I guess. I don't know. Like I said, like, I was excited to meet him because I actually knew who he was. But it was kind of like a passing, hey, how you doing? It was
the same guy that was in the first Saw movie, right?
See, I don't know.
Oh.
But I've met so many celebrities that I just don't give a shit about. Like, I've met, apparently, Demi Lovato's best friend, and I just did not give a shit. But these, like, I think it's University of Minnesota kids that have done a couple of silly plays. I am severely nerding out. Like, I'm going to meet them and just be speechless and just be like, oh my God, I love you guys so much. Oh my God. So I have that in the talks and the book stuff. plenty of book signings. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of lose track. I have so many projects.
Are you planning another book, or just sort of no plan yet, but an idea that you'd like to do another
Well,
one?
like I said, talking about my mom's life.
Yeah.
I thought about that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Because I could be like, based on a true story, and it'd be like really fucked up, and people would think I'm lying.
I definitely think we should do an episode of the podcast, and you can use the episode as an outline.
I'd like to have Nick in here to do that.
Okay.
Because if I had Nick, he would be like, no, Katie, that's stupid. That's a stupid idea. Or, Katie, I like that idea. We should do that idea. Katie,
So,
why aren't I in the book,
live
Katie?
critiquing your outline for your next book?
Oh, yeah. It'd be kind of funny if you had, like, a bunch of people on this, and we could, like, get the chat window up.
Uh-huh.
And that way I could hear their opinions, too.
Done.
No, Katie, that's fucking stupid. I'd listen to them, too. Whatever the public wants.
So let's get to that sex life.
Oh,
so
man.
now you have this brand new shiny vagina.
Brand new shiny. Oh, yeah, it is, actually. It was shiny.
Yeah.
Like, it sparkled in the...
And I remember you telling me that the technology has come so far that it's aesthetically perfect. It functions. Mm-hmm. So when you get into a relationship with a guy, do you disclose this before sex?
I don't know. Oh, definitely before sex, but I don't know if I even... Actually, no, that's not true. There have been a couple guys where I've not told. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just because it's like I see myself 100% as a girl.
Right.
And I could see how people would take offense to it. I see how people would be, kind of deterred from being or having relations with me if they knew about my past. Mm-hmm. But I figure, hey, you were willing to do this
Right.
before. I look and act and sound the exact same as any other girl.
And if a guy had sex with you, which you say guys who didn't know about your trans status have had sex with you and didn't notice anything.
No, I didn't know.
That's like the ultimate selling point. Just put that on the brochure.
It's just like, he didn't notice.
2 out of 2 guys couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah, but, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. There are people who feel 100% that they should tell people before they even kiss them, which is, I've done that. And there's some people who say that you should never tell them, which I've done that. It's just up to circumstances, an opinion. Honestly, I'll be honest. If I meet a guy and I think he's attractive, but I think he would drop me if he knew, but I think he's really fucking hot and I want to have sex with him, I have to like judge my morality of like, do I want to tell this person and them possibly beat me up? I mean, that's happened. I've been beat up from telling people about me. Or do I want to have my fun and then see where that goes? And
this was a big question I had. I remember when you and I first met and discussed a lot of this, that disclosure question was something, because it's something that I have never really had to face. It's a position that I've never been in, so I was curious how you treat it. But now that we're talking about it, I mean, he wouldn't disclose his childhood to you before you had sex.
Yeah. Well,
and your gender is really just one more aspect of your childhood.
At least for us that know about it.
Right.
To other people, it's like a completely different thing. It's just like, oh shit, you were a guy this whole time and you've been lying to me. That's usually the main thing, is people say you've lied to me.
But I feel like the same thing, it's very nearly the same thing with religion.
Yeah.
There are some people who will absolutely not sleep with a non-whatever they are.
Right.
And so before sex, do they say, hey, what is your religion?
Yeah, but I don't think a guy's ever going to like stop me midway and be like,
either.
Hey, what were you born as?
Right, because on one hand, he doesn't want to blow any chance he's got betting this hot chick that's in front of him.
Right. Thank you. I swear to God, I'm humble and modest. Sometimes it goes over my head. Yeah.
But so you're in a relationship now, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been in this relationship?
Almost 2 years.
And he knew before you started dating?
No. No. He was one of the guys that, like, I did my thing, had my fun. Eventually, I told him. Actually, not true. Eventually, he found out. Because I was like, I've been on TV. I've been in the newspapers.
It's hard to hide now.
Yeah, you Google my name, and it's just like the first thing that comes up. But I told him I modeled. And he was like, I'm going to Google your pictures and hold up against you. And I was like, no, don't do it. But he did. And he found out, and he was totally okay with it. He
Yeah.
was like, I liked you before. We've been dating for 3 months now, and I thought you were awesome. I think you're the most awesome girl. I think you're gorgeous. I'm not going to just break up with you because of some stupid shit like this. Like, it's so meaningless. So what? It doesn't make me gay. It doesn't make me anything. I'm still the exact same person. I'm still straight. You're straight. You're a woman. I'm a man. This all works out. It's totally okay. What was funny, though, is that he took me out into the middle of the woods to tell me this. So I thought he was going to kill me. So, if you read in the book, I talk about this.
I remember.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
The entire time, it's dark. Like, it's pitch black. And he's taking me out into the middle of the woods. And I have my hand in my purse. And I'm debating on whether I should grab the mace or my knife. I ended up deciding mace because I figure I could just mace him with a nice, knife. So I'm literally like debating like which weapon do I need to use because this man is going to kill me. There's no reason why he would drag me out into the middle of the woods after finding out about me, other than to like beat me up or hurt me or kill me or something. But no, he like confessed his love. He was like, I think I'm in love with you, and I learned all about you, and I want this to be a good relationship and a strong relationship. So it's like, yeah.
And how long have you guys been together now?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And I barely know him at this point. I've met him maybe on a couple occasions.
Yeah, it's all right.
I will have to say, he seemed very nice. He was quiet.
Quiet. But
he's an absolute puppy around you. Like, he just sort of follows you and stays close and watches for your cues.
Nah. Well, only when he's around people.
Yeah.
Other times he's just an asshole. Okay. But he's my asshole.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's really hard though to make friends and to be in relationships with people or to at least get into a relationship with somebody because you never know how that person actually perceives you. Like, especially, for instance, people who knew me before they found out. They treat you so much differently, whether they know it or not, as soon as they find out. I've had people who give me full frontal hugs and flirt with me and compliment me a lot and tell me what's on their mind. But the second they find out about me, they'll give me, like, the side hugs. And if I try to touch them, they'll back away. I hate
side hugs.
Yeah, and even if I'm going full frontal, they'll always do the side thing. Even though they've done the full frontal to me the entire time, They knew me as Katie, the girl. And I would say about 90 to 95% of the people I meet who knew me before they found out treat me differently. And the people who have always known me, about 90% of them treat me differently than I at least expected them to treat me.
Yeah.
Like, if I meet a guy, I at least expect him to treat me like you would most of your other girlfriends. Like, you usually give them hugs when you say hello and goodbye, usually. Or, you usually feel comfortable enough to do some minor flirting, like mess with them or say what's on your mind. But now I've noticed that, not now, always, like, if I try to touch them when I'm telling a joke, they'll, like, flinch, like, they'll back away, or they always apologize for saying something, like, if they say, like, what's up, faggot? And they're like, oh, man, Katie, I'm so sorry.
So they kind of walk on eggshells.
Yeah, and they treat me...
Do you think they think... I mean, you're one of the least sensitive people I know. Least sensitive?
Least sensitive? What are you talking about?
I mean, I have never once managed to offend you.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm very hard to offend. I thought you meant, like, empathic and shit.
No. Not empathic. I mean, literally, I've never hurt your feelings.
Right.
I've never offended you. And I pretty much speak my mind constantly.
Yeah. That's what I tell everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I can't trust people because I don't know how they actually perceive me. I don't know if the reason why they're not calling me back is because they think I'm weird.
You are weird.
I am weird, but if maybe it's too weird for them. Is it because I'm trans? Is it because they just are busy? Or I overthink all of my relationships. I have to constantly analyze how people perceive me.
Right.
Because of this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how they react to it.
It's a big label to carry around.
Yeah, it is. My friend was talking to me the other day, and he was like, he was naming mutual friends that we have and saying, like, give me a scale of 0 to 100 of how you feel about these people. And even the bestest friends that he could come up with, like my friend Jackson, who I consider one of my better friends at TU, I could only rate him like a 50. That was the highest score I could come up with, is like 50.
Yeah.
Or the people I hang out with every Thursday and get coffee with, maybe like 30, 40. And that made me, after he said that, I became really upset. Because, he was saying, oh, my best friends, of course, 100, 100, 100. The people that I go to class with are like 60. And the best score I could come up with is 50. Because, I know those are pretty arbitrary numbers or whatever, but it still made me think, like, the people I consider best friends are still almost strangers to me because I can't trust myself around them. They can ask me any question they want. Mm-hmm. I know all their secrets. I know their ons and offs. I know everything about them, and they know everything about me. But everything that they do, I overanalyze.
Yeah.
Because I'm terrified of it. If I try to touch them, like I said, and they flinch, I'm thinking, okay,
right.
Is it because they always do that? Is it because they think I'm a guy trying to touch them?
Right.
Do they think it's because I'm gross?
So rather than think maybe they're just not comfortable being touched, you think immediately, is it something about me?
Me, yeah. Is it my fault?
I think one of the things that endeared me the most to you right off the bat was when you and I first met. Nick brought you over to the house, and you literally told me, you're like, I'm completely open and honest, just ask me whatever. Mm-hmm. And I completely took you up on it, and for like an hour, I asked you every deep, dark question I could possibly think of. Everything, and you just immediately answered them, no hesitation. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, I love this chick. She's great.
I don't know. I just think that no secret I have, even the deepest, darkest secret's not going to ruin my life.
Yeah.
And I figure, I want to always treat people the way I would love to be treated. Mm-hmm. The way I fantasize about being treated. I would love to just be able to flat out ask anyone any question I ever have had as soon as it comes to mind, mm-hmm. and them not judge me, and them just say it, and no reaction out of it. They wouldn't be hesitant. They would just say it and then be like, this is strength in our relationship. Mm-hmm. They would feel good about asking me the awkward questions.
Or get offended.
Yeah, or never get offended. I've had friends ask me, like, how big was your dick? And I'll just be like, it was pretty big. And then our friendship, I feel like our friendship is better for that.
Yeah.
For them being comfortable enough asking me, and then I could see in their face, like, wow, she just fucking answered that. Like,
mm-hmm.
It's
great. You should have had it bronzed. You could put it in a museum.
Bronze? No, well, it's turned inside out, so it's like I can't.
Oh, that's right. They utilized it, right?
My testicles, I could have, I guess.
Yeah, I could have made you some earrings.
I always ask my people, like, when I first got the surgery,
yeah.
I would say, what do you think my balls are doing right now? Like, do you think they're just in a trash can? Do you think they're in some, like, Chinaman soup or something?
Oh, my God.
That's not racist. I'm an anthropologist and a sociologist. I can't be saying crap like that.
Yeah, I totally forgot. You had me watch a video once about the surgery. It was a very difficult to watch video, I have to say.
Yeah, that was
because watching someone, me, I'm very, very attached to my penis, physically and emotionally. And
right.
So to watch a doctor mutilate one with instruments was extremely difficult for me. Transformed, yes. Correct. Okay, from my perspective.
Mutilating.
Yeah. But I forgot they do utilize all that material.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's if anyone is curious at all, I recommend you go to YouTube and look for gender reassignment surgery videos, because it is pretty amazing what they're able to do.
Well, like you were saying, the technology is so great. A gynecologist can't tell the difference between my vagina and a normal vagina. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. I mean, it self-lubricates, it has a clitoris, mm-hmm. has a G-spot. Can't tell.
Is there scarring, or is it...
No.
No?
No. I mean, there's, like, around the lips, mm-hmm. but I don't have any hair to begin with. But there's still... I have a little bit. I have just, like, a tiny bit of, like your beard, like a little beard scruff. This is, like, how much I have.
Yeah.
And it covers the scars really nicely.
Yeah.
So you can't ever tell.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. And it's funny because I actually have like 2 or 3 inches more than a natural female. So like,
Inches.
inches like depth.
Oh, so put that on the brochure too.
Yeah, will be able to satisfy the larger men.
Wow.
Can't fit in your normal girlfriend? Here's my number.
Katie Hill, ladies and gentlemen. Well, do you have a website or any place that you like to send people to find you?
I should really have a website. I mean, I have
have a website?
I mean, I have a Twitter and a Facebook.
Okay,
and
what are
things.
Do you know the URLs?
Oh, fuck me, no, I don't. You can just Facebook Katie Rain Hill, Katie, middle name Rain, spelled Rain, last name Hill, Hill.
So rain like rain and hill like hill.
Yeah, like hill like the hill, and rain like the shit that comes out of the sky.
So look up Katie Rain Hill on Facebook. Go to her Twitter. Do you know what your Twitter is?
I think it's just at Katie Rain Hill.
Okay.
Or I think so. Yeah, at Katie Rain Hill.
We need to get you a website.
What will my website be? I guess my book.
Yeah, it'd be your book, your ongoing projects, your advocacy, your speaking schedule.
I would totally do like a blog and a podcast at a time.
You're so well spoken. You have things to say. You need a blog.
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about doing a
YouTube channel or something.
I've been thinking about it. But what time do I have? Like the
only
reason why I'm here tonight is because I was doing homework
right
here, and you were like, "Katie, let's take." I expected 20 minutes away from Dark Souls. Dark Souls 2, and come in here and do this podcast. It's a hell of a game,
by the way, everybody. You should play Dark Souls 2 if you're at all into gaming.
Oh man, I could do a whole podcast about video games.
Katie and I have spent the entire evening arguing about melee versus magic.
Magic. No, you could do melee, magic, and range. You can be all three.
I don't even want to mess with magic. I'm just not into it.
Oh, well, you have to at least get the first spell.
So go to my website, ericwrites.com. Click on the Amazon banner, go to Amazon, and search for Rethinking Normal by Katie Rain Hill. You have any closing words, Katie?
You should buy 2.
Buy 2 copies.
Buy 2 copies.
And give one to someone you know.
Use it as like a table thing for the wobbly table leg,
Right.
If you have to.
And if you buy one of Katie's books, she will absolutely sign it for you if you go see her at one of her speaking engagements.
Yeah, I actually have a speaking engagement this weekend at the Barnes & Noble next to Woodland Hills Mall.
In Tulsa, Oklahoma.
I think it's from 1 to 4? No. 3 to 4, I think. It's just for an hour. I think. Oh my gosh, I should check. I think it's like 2 to 4, 3 to 4. It would just be around there around 4.
We are just about an hour, and I think we're running out of steam. So I suggest we go grab another beer and play some Dark Souls.
Oh man, that sounds amazing.
Good night, everybody.
We could talk about sex more.